Good morning everyone. In this video, we will go through the different properties of the fluid that is used in hydraulic system. So these are the different properties that we will understand and we will go through one by one. But as we know that to get all these properties in a single fluid is next to impossible, and practically it is not possible because some of the fluid will be having advantages, then some of the same properties that will be having the disadvantages. So it is impossible to get all the properties in a single fluid. So these are the 12 different properties: ideal viscosity, good lubrication capacity, demulsibility, good chemical and environmental stability, incompressibility, fire resistance, low flammability, foam resistance, low volatility, good heat dissipation, low density, and system compatibility. So let us go through these one by one. Starting with the first one, that is the ideal viscosity. And as we know that it is almost impossible to achieve all these properties in the hydraulic fluid, and we can select the good fluid which is nearer to our requirement. And you will see that if we select the good fluid, then some of the properties that will be on the disadvantages side. So if we take one example, that it is common for the temperature of fluid to raise due to the friction in the system, and which always reduces the viscosity of the fluid. So what will happen when the viscosity of the fluid reduces? It will increase the leakage, and it will also reduce the lubrication ability of the fluid. So this is the disadvantage. Now if a fluid gets oxidized and if it becomes the acidic with usage, then certain additives are added to preserve the desirable properties and to make the fluid more stable. So in this way we can achieve the required properties of any fluid. We cannot directly get the ideal fluid. So the first one is the ideal viscosity, and the most basic desirable property of hydraulic fluid is the optimum viscosity. It is a measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. Now when the viscosity is low, the fluid flows very easily, and on the other hand, when the viscosity is high, the fluid flows with difficulty. A low viscous fluid is thin and it can flow very easily, whereas if a fluid is having the high viscosity, then it will be thick and it cannot flow easily. The viscosity of fluid should be high enough to seal the working gap between the parts and prevent the leakage, but should be low enough to cause easy flow throughout the system. So in a single property we require two things. If we increase the viscosity, obviously our first purpose will be solved, that it will make a seal in the working gap between the parts, and it will also prevent the leakage. But on the other hand, if viscosity is high, then flow of the fluid is very difficult. So to get the required flow, we have to reduce the viscosity. So if we reduce the viscosity, then the first part will be having the effect. So in this way we have to find out the optimum viscosity as per the applications. So if we select the high viscosity fluid, then what are the advantages that we are seeing here? If a high viscosity fluid is selected, then obviously it will require the higher energy to overcome the internal friction, and if we want to make the flow of the high viscosity fluid, then it will also require a very good capacity pump. So it will increase the power consumption, and due to this extra power it will also generate the extra heat. But if we go through this higher viscosity, then it is having the higher resistance to the flow. These are the characteristics. Increased power consumption due to friction loss, because flow of the fluid is very difficult. High temperature caused by the friction, that is also a concern in high viscosity. Increased pressure drop because of the resistance, and if you will see that because of the resistance to fluid, the pressure will be dropped. Possibility of a sluggish or slow operation, because the fluid will move slowly, so there are chances of slow operation. Difficulty in separating air from oil in a reservoir, because the density is viscosity of oil is very very high. So because of that, if any air bubbles or the particles that is present in the oil, that is very difficult to remove. Then greater vacuum at the pump inlet, causing the cavitation, and a higher system noise level. So as we know that the flow of high viscosity fluid is very difficult and requires very greater pressures, so it will cause this type of problems. Then if we go on the other hand, the low viscosity fluid, then it flows very easily. That is the advantage of low viscosity fluid. But it causes the leakage, and it also reduces the volumetric and overall efficiency. So if we go through this, then the first one is it increases the internal leakage that that was not visible in the higher viscosity. Then excessive water will be there. Then possibility of a decreased pump efficiency, causing the slower operation of the actuator, and increased temperature resulting from the leakage losses. So these are the disadvantages of the low viscosity fluid. So there are two basic methods of specifying the viscosity of the fluid, that is the absolute viscosity and the kinetic viscosity, which you have already learned in the subject fluid mechanics. And viscosity index is an arbitrary measure of a fluid resistance to viscosity change with temperature changes. So thus we can say that viscosity is affected by the temperature changes. As we increase the temperature, viscosity will be reduced. If we decrease the temperature, viscosity will be increased. Next property is the lubrication capability. Hydraulic fluids must have good lubricity to prevent friction and wear between the closely fitted working parts, such as the vanes of pumps, then the valve spools, piston rings and bearings. We have seen in the first unit the difference between the hydraulic and pneumatic circuit, that in pneumatic circuit we require a separate lubricating agent, while here in the hydraulic circuit the working fluid itself will work as the lubricant. So this should be the lubrication capability of the working fluid must be there, so that we do not require any other separate lubricating fluid. And wear is the removal of surface material due to the frictional forces between the two metal to metal contacts of the surface. Many times happens that when two parts that are in contact with each other, and they are having the relative movement, the direct metal to metal contact will generate the wear, and that can be prevented if the working fluid is having a good lubrication capability. So hydraulic oil should be having a good lubricating property, and that is the film so formed should be strong enough so that it cannot directly wiped out with the moving parts. So a thick or even a thin film should be constantly generated in between two moving parts or in between the gaps of two moving parts. So this property is known as the lubrication capability. Then the next one is the demulsibility. The ability of a hydraulic fluid to separate rapidly from moisture and successfully resist emulsification is known as the demulsibility. If an oil emulsifies with water, the emulsion promotes the destruction of lubricating and the sealant properties. So highly refined oils are basically water resistant by nature. This ability of the fluid is known as the demulsibility. The next one is the good chemical and environmental stability, or it is also known as the oxidation and corrosion resistance. So for a good hydraulic fluid, a good chemical and environmental stability is desirable. Most fluids are vulnerable to oxidation as they come in contact with oxygen in air. Mineral oils or the petroleum based oils, they are widely used in the hydraulic system. It contains the carbon and the hydrogen molecules which will easily react with the oxygen. The oxidation products are highly soluble in oil and being acidic in nature, they can easily corrode the metallic parts. So these are the properties which is very much required in the fluid. Many factors which influence the rate of oxidations are there, such as the temperature, then pressure, the moisture which is available in the fluid, and so on. But if we go for the most important factor, then the temperature is the most effective one. Now, as the rate of oxidation increases severely with the rise in temperature, so that will make the temperature a very important factor. If the moisture enters into the hydraulic system, then it will cause the parts made of the ferrous materials to rust, and rust is a chemical reaction between the iron or the steel and the oxygen. While the corrosion, on the other hand, is the chemical reaction between the metal and the acid. And the result of rusting and corrosion is you can say that the material from the parts will be removed in the form of powder, and continuously it will make the system and material weak. So rust and corrosion can be prevented by adding the additives that the plate on the metal surface to prevent the chemical reactions. We have already went through the different types of additives in the last video, so that type of additives can be added in the fluid to prevent this thing. The next property is the neutralization numbers. Neutralization number is a measure of the acidity or alkalinity of the hydraulic oil. This is referred to as the pH value of oil. High acidity causes the oxidation rate in oil, and it increases rapidly. So neutralization numbers will control which shows the pH value of the oil. The next is the low flammability. We have already went through the property that is the flammability in the last video, that with how much ease the fluid gets the flammable and how easily it is propagating That property is known as the flammability. A fire resistant fluid is one that can get ignited in the presence of an ignition source but does not support combustion when the source is removed. This characteristic is defined as the flammability, and it also refers to it how easily it gets ignited and how it propagates in terms of the flames. So it is desirable to have a low flammability of hydraulic fluid. The next is the foam resistance. Air can be present in hydraulic fluid in two forms, that is in the dissolved form and in the entrained form. Now, if we take one example that if the return line of the reservoir is not submerged, the jet of oil entering the liquid surface will carry air with it, and this causes the air bubbles to form in the oil, and if these bubbles raise to the surface too slowly, they will be drawn into the pump intake. So this can cause pump damage due to cavitation. And if we talk about the other effect of the entrained and dissolved air is greater reduction in the bulk modulus of the hydraulic fluid, because the space which needs to be occupied by the fluid, it will be replaced by these air bubbles. So it will reduce the efficiency, the effort required at the end, at the last portion of the hydraulic circuit, that is at the actuator ends. Next, low volatility. A fluid should possess low vapor pressure or high boiling point. The vapor pressure of a fluid varies with temperature, and hence the operating temperature range of the system is important in determining the stability of the fluid. So a fluid also should possess the low volatility property. The next is the good heat dissipation. A hydraulic fluid should have a high heat dissipation capability, and the temperature of fluid shuts up if its heat dissipation characteristics are very poor. Too high fluid temperature can cause the system to malfunction, and if the fluid overheats, it may cause various effects, like it may give off vapor and it causes the cavitation in the pump. Then it can increase the rate of oxidation, which will cause the rapid, you can say that deterioration of the material. Then it can reduce the viscosity of the fluid, which will result in the leakage. And if we talk about the other things, then it can cause the thermal distortion in the components. It can damage the seals and the packaging. So this heat dissipation capacity or of the fluid plays a very important role, because if this property is not good, then it can generate many difficulties and many other disadvantages. The next is the relative density. The relative density of a mineral oil is 0.9. The exact value depends on the base oil and the additives used. Synthetic fluids can have relative density greater than 1. So the relative density is important when designing the layout of the pumps and the reservoirs. Next is the system compatibility. A hydraulic fluid should be inert to materials used in or near the hydraulic equipment. If the fluid is anyway attacks, destroys, dissolves or changes the parts of hydraulic system, the system may lose its functional efficiency and it may start malfunctioning. So this system compatibility is also a very important characteristics. Next one is stable chemically and physically. A fluid should be stable chemically and physically. Fluid characteristics should remain unchanged during an extended useful life and during the storage. The fluid is working hydraulic system is subjected to violent usage, that is under the large pressure fluctuations, then under the stroke, then it may be subjected to the turbulence, then the cavitation, water and particular contaminations. So still more effects are there that a fluid has to sustain. So there are many aspects of the stability of the chemical in a nature. The temperature to which the fluid will be exposed is then again becomes a very important criteria. So by considering a particular application, we have to identify whether during the working condition a fluid will be subjected to which type of adverse condition, and based on that we have to select the hydraulic fluid. The next is the good heat dissipation, which we have already went through this. Then the high bulk modulus. The bulk modulus is a measure of the degree of compressibility of the fluid and is the reciprocal of compressibility. So in general the oil taken as the incompressible, but in practice all materials are compressible and oil is also one of them. The higher the value of bulk modulus, the lesser the material will be compressed with increasing pressure. So that plays a very important role, because at the time of flow, when it is entered into the actuator, if it is compressed, then obviously we will get the less out of it. So it plays a very important role. And it is this is also a very important characteristic of hydraulic fluid because of the control problems, and especially in the servo hydraulics. Next is low coefficient of expansion. A low coefficient of expansion is usually desirable in a hydraulic fluid to minimize the total volume of the system required at the operating temperature. If we talk about the coefficient of expansion, then we can say that with increase or decrease in the temperature by 1 degree, what changes are made, that is basically considered in the coefficient of expansion. If we increase the temperature by 1 degree, then how much the oil gets expanded, that is coefficient of expansion, and that should be low, because if the operating temperature suddenly increases and if the fluid gets expanded, then obviously the viscosity will be reduced and we will face n number of problems like leakage, then loss in the pressure, then the output or efficiency of the system will be reduced. So these are the things which will directly dependent on the coefficient of expansion. So this should be low. So based on various properties which we went through in this video, you have to write down the same thing, that is explain various properties of fluids. So complete the task and submit on Google Classroom. Thank you.